Check out the new Google TV Streamer, the first new TV device from Google since the Chromecast with Google TV 3 or 4 years ago, and it was 2018 when I first reviewed the original Chromecast. The 2024 version looks a lot different. With an Ethernet connection port in the back of this version, you can plug directly into a router for stabler streams without the need for an adapter, and now billed as having ambient mode. Is this streamer finally a worthy adversary for the decor-focused Samsung Frame TV? In this review, I'm going to try the new TV streamer out here in my home for a few days, and I'll take a look at what's new and improved in this version, plus what it can do, what the user interface is like, and I'll assess some other special features it has too. I'll wrap things up with the pros and the cons of this device and let you know if I think it's a good TV streaming system for you. I'd also like to thank Google for gifting me a pre-release version so I could do my review ahead of its public launch. While the company did provide the streamer to me at no cost, it didn't ask for or receive permission to have any input into this review, so you can consider these thoughts my own. Let's look at what you're getting. Google TV Streamer is a device that connects to any TV, and using your home's Wi-Fi connection, it can open up streaming access for nearly any television, whether a smart TV or an older non-connected set. Once you have it connected, it gives you access to all the streaming channels on the market. With an included remote control, it's got instant control, or you can use a phone to run it too. Google packed the device with hardware upgrades like the Ethernet port, some limited AI help, and a few other neat goodies too, meaning it's a solid competitor for something like an Apple TV or a Roku Ultra. Let's take a look at what you're getting. In the package, you're getting the TV box, although you probably can't call this a box. The design leans heavily towards Google's preference for more natural, pebbly shapes and textures, and it features mega curves and round, soft edges. A power cable and a plug adapter, plus 2 color-coordinated batteries round out the necessities, and there's also the new remote control. Yes, while batteries are included, an HDMI cable is not, so make sure you have your own, and just remember to buy an HDMI 2.1 cable if you don't have a spare, so you can enjoy the full 4K HDR benefits. Those who were big fans of the old palm-sized pebble-shaped Chromecast dongle will find this device more challenging to place or hide since it's not going to dangle behind your TV, but I think Google did an incredible job at making this something you won't mind having sitting out in the open. I placed mine on top of my Sonos soundbar below the Samsung Frame TV, and I think it disappears nicely into the room. It's sculptural yet unobtrusive. Google redesigned the remote, making it slightly larger and altering the button layout, and apparently improved the ergonomics, but the improvements are subtle at best, and they're not going to rock your Chromecast world. The YouTube and Netflix buttons remain, but the smaller button with the star icon on the bottom right is now customizable, allowing you to bind that button to any Google TV app or function you want. Almost. The built-in microphone allows you to give the streamer Google Assistant smart home commands as expected. To get the Google TV streamer set up, you'll plug in the power and connect the HDMI cable to the streamer and your TV. While we're back here, let's take a look at the ports. There's the single HDMI connection on the right, an Ethernet port to the left of that, and USB-C power. A multi-purpose button on the far left will reset the device or find your lost remote. Once it boots up, the screen is going to begin to walk you through. The first thing you'll do is pair your remote. I couldn't quite get mine to pair the first few times I tried and ended up having to pop the batteries out and just put them back in to get it to work. Once I did that, the whole setup process advanced by itself. Not sure if this was just a pre-release bug or a bigger issue, but it was resolved quickly. The rest of the setup process will involve connecting to your home's Wi-Fi network and then enabling a handful of settings. I was set up in about 5 minutes. As a quick aside, if you prefer to use your television's remote control to control your Google TV streamer, you can. I didn't even have to do anything to get this working. Instantly, my Samsung TV remote was connected and functioning as well. Let's take a look at the main screen. If you're familiar with Android TV interfaces, this will look somewhat familiar. The clean and uncluttered interface looks modern and it's easy to follow. At the top, you've got your core tabs, which are self-explanatory. There's For You, Movies, Shows, Apps, and Library. The For You tab might be most of interest since this is where Google's going to make recommendations about things it thinks you'll like, and it'll also give you the opportunity to resume watching other things you've already started. My recommendations weren't super robust, but I also haven't haven't yet had time to let the streamer understand my watching habits just yet.
When it comes to apps and streaming services, pretty much every platform is available here, and you can personalize what you'll see on the screen and how easy it is for you to access. The interface is incredibly easy to use and understand, and you'll also find things like free streaming TV options in here, as well as live television too.
One of the features I found handy is the integration of Google Home into the streamer. You can set up a shortcut button to access Google Home or just find it through settings. Either way, it gives you access to your full suite of Google Home and smart home devices. It's incredibly easy to make adjustments to lighting or even call up any of your cameras onto the big screen and take a look around.
The new Google TV streamer doubles as a wider smart home hub as well, with both Thread and Matter support. Those newer smart home connection protocols might not matter, pun intended, might not matter to every household yet, but they will become standard soon enough, and they'll mean your Google TV streamer is future-proof for a while.
One of the features of the streamer I was looking most forward to is what Google is calling ambient mode, but you could also refer to this less charitably as the screensaver. Google seemed to say it's done some work to improve this feature, but as I was setting it up, I have to say it looked suspiciously like the screensavers already available on Google smart screens, with options for viewing your own photos or Google selected art. One of the interesting options is the ability to use Google's AI to create your own screensaver. You can either generate art completely from scratch or use the Google assisted prompts to help you. This is certainly fun, and it can lead to both some very nice images and some interesting misfires. But if you're willing to stick with it, you can probably create something you'll like.
While there are definitely some cool and unique artworks and prints available, the effect of this is definitely more screensaver than ambient mode. The TV stays at its current brightness, so it can look a bit unnatural or extremely overbright in dimmer rooms. There's also no single touch button that can just get you immediately into ambient mode. I went looking through the settings for the programmable favorite button, but there appears to be no option for that to trigger ambient mode. In short, while I had high hopes that the so-called ambient mode would be a nice way for the TV to fit into my space a little better, at this stage it's little better than a screensaver and could use a few tweaks in my opinion to make it easier to access.
Everybody's misplaced the remote, but with the Google Streamer, there are 3 ways to find a lost Google remote. Press and hold the button on the back of the TV streamer for about 5 seconds and release it, and it'll ring the remote.
Find my remote.
If you have Google Nest speakers in the home, you can trigger the remote to ring using your voice by just saying, "Hey G, find my remote." You can also use the Google Home app. Just tap on your Google TV streamer inside the app and you'll get the options. That new customizable star button on the remote lets you program your favorite app or channel for instant callback, or you can set it up to switch inputs or launch the Google Home panel with just one click. Now, while this is a nice option, right now the programming options are limited to just those 3 things. As I noted before, you can't program this button to launch ambient mode or change your default audio settings, for example.
What's the weather forecast for today?
Probably not a surprise, the Google Assistant is built into your TV, which allows you to ask for channel changes, volume adjustments, and other information with your voice. Google appears to be getting away from the familiar Google Assistant emblem, since on the remote, if you want to access the Assistant, you'll push the microphone button.
Google has also built in access to its new Gemini artificial intelligence assistant. Kinda. Well, Gemini will deliver things like AI-powered summaries for movies or TV, or even a roundup of what people are saying online about a show. It doesn't appear the dedicated Gemini Assistant or Gemini Live is actually available on the TV streamer just yet. Now, here's hoping that feature comes along down the road, perhaps with a firmware update.
Bluetooth capability means you can link your streamer to a pair of Pixel Buds Pro and enjoy private spatial audio. That is very good news, but you can also pair your Google TV streamer to any Bluetooth-enabled headphones you want, even Apple devices. I love this feature, and I was able to use the streamer with a variety of different headphones to enjoy a quiet movie night.
Overall, the Google TV streamer appears to be a solid device that will be ideal for anyone who needs to add streaming functionality to an older TV or who's looking for a portable television option, but it does have its shortcomings and some areas where I hope to see some improvements being made. Let's go over the pros and the cons.
On the pro side, this streamer is beautiful and certainly way more attractive than Apple's hunk of black plastic. I would go so far as to say the Google TV streamer is the best looking streaming box on the market, bar none. With 4K resolution, you're getting the best quality video, and the Ethernet port lets you set up a direct connection if you prefer. It's incredibly easy to set up and easy to use, and the simple, clutter-free home screen makes it a joy to navigate. With all the streaming services you could want already built in, you've got loads of entertainment options, and with the Google Home interface at your fingertips, it's easy to navigate your smart home too. Plus, with the option to connect any pair of headphones for private listening, this is an ideal streaming box for a family home when quiet is needed.
So what are the downsides? I personally was really disappointed with the so-called ambient mode. It's really just the same screensaver you'll get on any Google display. Now, to be clear, this is nice to have if you don't already have something like a frame TV like I already do. But calling this ambient mode does seem like kind of an overreach. Plus, the ambient mode can't be triggered manually easily.
Some users may also be disappointed at the bigger size and the need for set-top or furniture placement. I also wished for more options to program that favorites button, and I'm surprised Gemini isn't baked in here on release, though this should improve down the road.
Google priced its TV streamer at $99 US or $129 Canadian, which is more expensive than the old Chromecast, but still a lot less than a 4K Ethernet Apple TV. And since Chromecast is still available as of this video going up, if you do need the smaller dongle and you don't need the Ethernet connection, you can still get 4K video and save. In short, there are a few shortcomings in this device that may give you pause before you hit add to cart, especially since there are cheaper streaming options out there, mainly from Roku. But as long as you know what you're getting here and what you aren't, at least not yet, Google TV Streamer does the job, and it looks a lot better doing it. You can check out some of the other products Google released this season, including the Pixel Buds Pro 2, which of course you can use with the TV for private listening, or see what some of Google's new smartphones are like right now.